Okay, so we are dealing with a lot of sum. So we have our retention sum, performance bond, retention sum. The idea of retention sum and performance bond is about the same. It's just to safeguard. They keep a bit of money to safeguard so that the contractor will perform and hopefully they will perform. And kawan dengan performance bond is payment bond. Sometimes some contractors are scared because the client has very bad reputation, so they ask for a payment bond. But very rare, but it does happen. Only CIDB contract cover a payment bond. Okay, so payment bond is that the client will keep money there, in the bank. It can be in the form of banker's guarantee as well for the contractor in case the client cannot pay. Then there is a payment bond that is available. So this bond retention sum, this is all about sum of money that you retain in case that, one party did not perform and you have something to fall back onto. Then you've got provisional sum. Provisional sum is basically work quantity that are not confirmed. But the overall contract is confirmed, but some part of the work quantity is not confirmed. So we put it under provisional sum, and that part will be paid according to the work done. You see, the amount of work done. Is piling, is pipe, is whatever, then it's based on the length, is based on remeasurement at the end of the day. And this is very similar to what we call prime cost sum as well. So prime cost sum, you may be asking me. Prime cost sum is for an item. Let's say doorknobs, valve, it's like a part item. Provisional is for work. Prime cost is for item. Item that the model is not being confirmed or the item itself is not fixed yet, then you have a prime cost sum. So you put like an estimated sum first, so that both provisional and prime cost, you still put an estimated sum first, but both will be subjected to what you really get at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, if you use a Chinese valve or you use Japanese valve, you use a butterfly valve from US, then the model, the thing are all fixed already, then you pay. Once it's installed, then you pay. So these are more for maybe like architectural item, like say doorknobs, window frame, one sort of cathodic protection, paint, all this needs to have a final brand and also model and all that confirmed. These are all considered as prime cost sum. So there's a bit of a difference. So I'll put that in the notes later. So these are all dealing with money. So then of course the last is contingency sum. Contingency sum is different from retention because contingency sum, it is emergency money, but the client consciously put it there. They put a sum there, an amount, and they call it contingency, and you may not use it. So your contract sum is contract sum plus contingency. That is the final contract sum. But when you don't use the contingency, you don't use it. So what circumstances you use contingency? Like I said, when there is expectation that there may be some form of extra work that needs to be done. Some part of the design, actually, the client realized that it may not be as what he likes, but he isn't sure about what he likes at this point in time. So he just leave it there. He just put an amount of money there in case he wants to add on later. He want to use better materials, he wants to add on more quantity. A lot of this actually happen maybe in government contract contingency sum. Like how let's say you do rural water supply, and then you do like kampong ABCD, this is the contract sum. Then but you put a contingency sum in case some YB comes to you or some people come to you and say that there's land issue, or there are issues that, can you bring water to my kampong also, which is only like a few 100 meters down the road. So okay, so if you want to use that contingency sum to do the extra work, you can, you see. So yeah, so that is what we call emergency money, contingency money. So remember, retention and contingency are two different things. Make sure that you understand this. They're not the same thing. So the other component that we also hear a lot is losses. Losses meaning that expenses and loss, meaning that if there's a delay and LAD is being given, so there's a fault of the client, should you get your expenses, loss and expenses? Well, that is depending on the contract and whether it's a reimbursable or non-reimbursable amount. And yeah, we depending on the contract itself, so you need to read the contract very carefully, whether loss and expenses are being covered due to delays. You see, so sometimes, most of the time, it's not. They will give you reimbursable in terms of extension of time, EOT, but not in terms of dollars and cents. So yeah, so these are typical terms that we use a lot in money-related matters. Okay, so I think basically these are the contractual terms that you will hear a lot, and I've gone through that with you. So now it's about procedures, payment procedures. So payment procedures, we will have basically the contractor, like I've gone through just now, the contractor will give the claim according to the set of format. It must comply to certain requirements, certain things must be fulfilled, and then he must be able to claim the minimum amount claimable under a contract for a progressive claim. And then the CA or the QS or engineers or project manager will actually visit the site to carry out the valuation, and he will produce what we call certificates. And this certificate will be, it's going to be determined by the CA, QS, or engineers, architect, whoever the CA is. Then it will be sent to the contractor for agreement. So once it's agreed, the certificates will be sent to the client, and then then once it's confirmed, it will be sent to the client, and then that certificate will be issued and confirmed, and then the client will pay within the stipulated period. Stipulated period means that it is the days and numbers of days that is confirmed, that is required to do the work. To do the payment. So if it's stipulated 30 days, then he must, upon receiving the certificate, 30 days he must pay the contractors. Okay? And building contract is the same, but it's assessed by architects. So issuance of payment certificates. So in every contract, they will highlight to you. Contractually, they will highlight to you, contractor submit the claim, and then CA assess over a certain period of day to issue this, including issuance of the certificate. Assessment and issuance of the certificate is usually about 14 days, sometimes 21 days, depending on the contract itself. Like, when you have a PWD contract, when you have a PAM contract, IEM contract, they all say different things, you see, so you need to take note, you see. So PAM says 21 days, PWD contract are usually about 14 days for the SO to inspect, verify, map valuation, and produce a certificate for the contractor to agree upon, you see. So then the next thing is, after the certificate is done, signed by the contractor, then the period stipulated of honoring that certificate will be also stipulated, will be put in the contract, and that will be over how long it must be paid. So most is 30 days, 21 days, 30 days, quite common. Mostly is 30 days, 30 working days from the date of certificate that the contractor signed and it's been, given to the client. So all this date here, we've got a few comparison between PWD and also PAM, see. So of course you can have IEM contract, you can have CIDP contract, you can have JKR contract, you can have JKR 203, but generally these are something to do with most private and public sectors. These are the two comparisons that I've made for you. So you can see that, these are the standard procedures that we need to carry out, for our work side, you see. So then, for payment issues. So payment, besides all the terms, and then all these terms have a part in your certificates, you see, in your payment certificates, and then when you pay, there's about honoring. So the duties of the client is to pay within the stipulated time. The duty of the CA is to work within the stipulated time. The contractor's duty is to give the claim and give reasonable claim, properly give the interval claim, and use it as an interval. Certain interval you must put in your claim. If you don't put in your claim, none of these people need to go and remind you. If they remind you, then that's very nice of them. If they don't remind you, that is your problem, you see. But their job is to honor the time. Your job is to do the claims, you see, as a contractor. So these are all the different responsibilities and duties of the parties involved in the contract. Okay, so I think that basically sums up money matters. So I will show you some of the terms, some of the clauses in PWD form, JKR form of contract in the same notes. Then you will see what is said in those areas, you see. So